spherical triangle PV2B shaded out here. Now we get two right-angled spherical triangles PV1A and PV2B. Vessel moves along this arc of great circle, so this becomes GC track. Vessel also moves from V2 to B, that becomes a GC track. And from V1 to V2, vessel moves along this parallel of latitude so that it does not get crossed, and that becomes a parallel sailing track. So V1 to V2 is parallel sailing track. The vessel's total track from A to B shall have three segments: A to V1, great circle; V1 to V2, parallel sailing; and V2 to B as great circle. Now let's look at, analyze each of these tracks out here. You can see.
So beta, up to here is clear now. We have the first triangle as BAV1. We have the second triangle as PBV2. And in between V1 and V2, we are doing parallel sailing. We are moving on the parallel of latitude, which is our limiting latitude. So we will now be calculating all these three triangles or all these three segments of our track. First, we'll calculate the AV1, alpha vector 1, then vector 1, vector 2 will be the second leg, then Bravo vector 2 will be the third leg. Once you calculate these three and you add them up, it will give you the total composite distance. So any doubts in your mind up to here, beta? Okay, very good.
No, sir.
So great. Let's now continue further. Composite sailing के questions में बेटा जो हमें information दी होती है, they will give us our initial position. Like you see, position of A is given. They will give us the destination position. You can see the position of point B is also given, and they will give us the limiting latitude. This is what is provided to us, and they want us to find out, number one, what is the total composite distance from A to B? So this is one thing which we need to calculate. The second thing which we need to calculate is our initial course at A and our final course at B. So this is what is required to be calculated. So now we are going to see how we calculate the distance and the courses using Napier's rule and parallel sailing. So let's see it now.
See on the screen, let's analyze track AV1. How do we calculate all these things now? Now to calculate track AV1 distance and course and other things. Now what is the type of the track AV1? Obviously GC has already explained. We know this side. Why? Because we know the limiting latitude, that is the latitude of V1. We also know this side PA. Why? Because we know the latitude of point A. Now with right angle triangle, two parts known, we can use Napier's rule and we can solve for this angle. It will help us in getting the longitude of V1. We can solve for this arc AV1, that will give us the GC distance between AV1. And in this case, the distance works out to be so much. And we also solve for this angle, which will help us in getting us the initial course when the vessel sets sailing along the GC track AV1 from A. Exactly the same way, we can solve for triangle PV2D.
Okay, so beta, this first triangle which we have, Papa Alpha Victor 1, we know it's a special spherical triangle. All three sides are parts of great circle and angle V is 90 degree. So we can apply the Napier's rule. Two items or two things which are known to us is Papa Victor 1, colat of the limiting latitude, Papa Alpha, colat of our starting position. With these two, we are going to find distance AV1, angle A, and angle P of this triangle where you see the question mark symbols. So up to here is clear, beta? Any doubt up to here?
No, sir.
Very good. So now we move on to the triangle PBV2, Papa Bravo Victor 2. So in this also it is very much similar. It's a spherical triangle, one right angle, and we can apply the Napier's rule, two items known to us, and we are going to find the remaining items.
For track V2B, we know it's a GC track. We know this because this is the collat of the vertex. This is the collat of point B, and we can solve for now this angle, which shall help us in getting the coordinates of the vertex. We can solve for this V2B arc, which will help us in giving the GC distance on the third leg. And we can also calculate this angle, which shall help us in getting us the final course of the vessel. Now, we also know that this angle at P, this angle at P is the D long between A and B. Now, knowing this full angle and also knowing these two small angles calculated while solving the right angle triangle, we can get this angle, which is the D long between V1 and V2.
Okay, so what we have done till now, beta, we have solved the second triangle also, Papa Bravo Victor 2, and we knew side PV2, we knew side Papa Bravo. इन दोनों के साथ हमने बाकी की आइटम्स को फाइंड आउट किया है. We found out what was BV2. So BV2 gives us the distance on our last leg. We find out what is angle B. Now angle B can be used to identify what is going to be our final course. Now how do we convert this angle to our final course? We follow the same 1, 2, 3 method which we did in great circle sailing. So same 1, 2, 3 method, start from north, go clockwise, go up to the ship's head and measure the angle. So using this, we get the final course. From angle A, we can easily obtain the initial course using the same 1, 2, 3 method. Now further बेटा अब हमें जो ढूंढना बाकी रह गया है वो है distance V1, V2. Now V1, V2 is a parallel track. So distance on the parallel track is basically the departure. Now departure can be calculated if we know the D long between V1 and V2. Latitude is already known to us. So we can apply the parallel sailing formula. Departure is equal to D long into cos of M lat. So how do we find this D long? The D long is basically this angle at the pole. Vector 1, Papa, Vector 2, this angle. Now, how do we find this angle? Beta, we have the longitude of A. We also have the longitude of B. So we can find out what is the D long between A and B. The complete angle P is this D long. Now we have calculated angle P of the PAV1 triangle. We have also calculated angle P of the PBV2 triangle. If from the total D long you subtract these two angles, you are going to get the middle angle P, and this middle angle P is the D long between V1 and V2. So once we have the D long, we can apply the parallel sailing formula and find the departure.
Now, knowing the D long between V1 and V2 and knowing the latitude along which parallel sailing is being executed, we can calculate the distance V1, V2 by parallel sailing formula. So we have all the three tracks then solved out here. And this sort of sailing wherein we use combination of more than one sailing is called as composite sailing. And in this case, the composite sailing involves great circle sailing plus the parallel sailing.
So now beta, have a good look at this diagram and let me know if there are any doubts in your mind.
सर एक बार वापस एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए सर.
Which one beta? Any specific part?
हाँ सर ये V1 V2 सर.
Okay. Now beta, V1 V2 is number one along the parallel of a latitude. So it is a parallel track. Okay, we cannot calculate it using Napier rule or spherical trigonometry because this is not a great circle. This is a small circle which is 50° north parallel of latitude. Now in parallel sailing, the distance is calculated by departure. Departure formula is d long into cos of latitude. So we need to find the d long between V1 and V2. The d long between two places is the angle at the pole contained between the meridian of these two places. So this middle angle P which you see is the d long. Up to here is okay beta?
Yes sir.
Now we have calculated this small angle P in the first triangle using Napier's rule. We had also calculated this small angle P in the third triangle using Napier rule. So ये दोनों छोटे एंगल हमारे पास आ गए हैं and we can also find out this complete angle P because this complete angle P is the d long between starting position A and the final position B. दोनों के longitude हमें given है 122 19.9 139 50.4. So we can find out the d long between them. Now if you find this bigger angle P and subtract the smaller two angles on the sides, what are you going to get?
That's
So D long between V1 and V2.
Right. So when you get this middle angle P and the d long between V1 and V2, you can easily calculate the distance better.
Yes sir.
Okay. और बताओ बेटा और कोई डाउट आ रहा है? All clear बेटा?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ओके वेरी गुड. सो बेटा अब पहले तो इस क्वेश्चन को प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. सो यू कैन टेक ए स्क्रीनशॉट ऑफ द स्क्रीन. इसमें आपके पास इनिशियल और फाइनल पोजीशंस हैं. पोजीशन ऑफ ए, पोजीशन ऑफ बी. यू हैव द लिमिटिंग लैटिट्यूड विच इज़ 50° नॉर्थ. सो अब आपने इस क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करना है. द आंसर्स आर देयर ऑन द राइट साइड. So you have the answers also. So get your notebooks and calculators out and you solve this question. Right beta?
ओके सर.
सर एक मिनट लिख लेते हैं सर.
Okay, sir.
हाँ beta, you can note it down or you can take a screenshot. I'll keep it like this.
सर लिख लेते हैं सर.
This question is going to take some time because इसमें बेटा देखो there are total 7 things which you will be finding. So Napier rule या कोई भी formula जो है वो 7 times आप apply करोगे. First is AV1, then you will find angle A, then you will find this angle P, 3 items, then BV2, angle B, and this angle P, total 6 items, and the 7th would be the V1 V2 distance. So it may take about 20 to 30 minutes. Okay, so take your time, do it comfortably. So initially more time is not a problem. As you will practice more questions, आपकी जो time requirement है ये धीरे धीरे कम होती जाएगी. हमारा जो टारगेट है वो ये, once we have done sufficient practice, to solve this question in about 15 to 18 minutes of time. एग्ज़ाम में हमें 20 मिनट का टाइम मिलेगा इसको सॉल्व करने के लिए. सो 18 मिनट के आसपास का हमारा टारगेट है. उसके लिए वी विल प्रैक्टिस द क्वेश्चंस एंड द टाइम विल कम डाउन. सो यू कैन नाउ कंटिन्यू सॉल्विंग दिस क्वेश्चन.
सर ये क्वेश्चंस में लिमिटिंग लैटिट्यूड ऑलवेज दिया रहेगा?
यस बेटा, इट विल ऑलवेज बी गिवन.
ओके सर.
और सर हमारे जो क्वेश्चंस आएंगे वो केवल मतलब दो वर्टेक्स, मतलब टिल V1 एंड देन V2 एंड देन B पॉइंट, ऐसा कभी नहीं होगा कि 3 पार्ट में ब्रेक हो रहा होगा या 4 पार्ट में ब्रेक हो रहा होगा.
बेटा 3 पार्ट में तो ब्रेक हो ही रहा है.
आई मीन सॉरी 4 पार्ट्स में सर.
हाँ, नो, इट विल नेवर हैपन बेटा.
ओके सर.
It will never happen that you have 4 parts. You will have 3 in 90% of the questions. और एक जब आप ये नॉर्मल क्वेश्चन आप प्रैक्टिस कर लोगे तो
Yes,
मैं
sir.
आपको एक टिपिकल क्वेश्चन कराऊंगा जिसमें
sir.
ये 3 की जगह पे 2 पार्ट्स होंगे सिर्फ. सो दैट आई विल डू वंस यू आर फेमिलियर विद द बेस क्वेश्चन.
ओके सर.
सो उसमें 2 हो जाएंगे. सो 90% ऑफ द क्वेश्चन यू विल हैव 3
Yes, sir.
पार्ट्स एंड सम ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस यू मे हैव 2.
तो मतलब सर क्वेश्चन देख के पता लग जाएगा, मतलब वही है ना सर?
बिल्कुल
There will
बेटा,
be
पता.
some.
यस, आई विल टेल यू कि कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करना है
ठीक
2
सर.
पार्ट्स
ओके
वाले को. फॉर
ठीक
द
है.
3 पार्ट, दिस इज द प्रोसीजर वी फॉलो.
ओके सर. ओके सर. ओके.
ओके.